When did you have to choose between two lives? I was 34, married to my college sweetheart Jake for 12 years. We had this perfect suburban life in Denver. Nice house, good jobs, weekend barbecues with the neighbors. I worked as a nurse at the children's hospital, and Jake was an accountant at some boring firm downtown. But I had this secret. For 3 years, I've been talking to my high school boyfriend Marcus online. It started innocent enough. He found me on Facebook, we caught up about old times, shared some memories from when we were 17. Marcus lived in Portland now, working as a chef at this trendy restaurant. Never married, no kids. He'd send me pictures of the food he made, tell me about his adventures hiking in Oregon. His life seemed so free compared to mine. Our conversations got deeper. He'd tell me about the apartment he was renovating, how he could see the mountains from his kitchen window. I'd complain about Jake working late again, how we barely talked anymore except about bills and yard work. Then Marcus said something that changed everything. He told me he'd been offered a job running a restaurant in Italy. His dream job, but he was scared to go alone. He asked if I ever wondered what would have happened if we'd stayed together after high school. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Italy, a completely different life. Adventure instead of routine, passion instead of predictability. Marcus said he'd wait for me to decide, but the job offer expired in 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Jake had no idea anything was wrong. He'd come home from work, kiss me on the cheek, and ask what was for dinner. Same conversation every night. I felt like I was suffocating. One evening, Jake found me crying at the kitchen table. He sat down and took my hand, really looked at me for the first time in months. "What's wrong, Ian?" he asked. "You haven't been yourself lately." I almost told him everything right then. About Marcus, about feeling trapped, about wanting to run away to Italy. But instead, I said I was just stressed about work. Jake nodded and said something that broke my heart. "I know I've been working too much. How about we plan a vacation? Just the two of us. Remember how we used to talk about seeing Europe together?" He pulled out his phone and started showing me pictures of this little village in Tuscany. "I've been saving up for months," he said. "I wanted to surprise you for our anniversary next month." I stared at the photos. Jake had been planning this trip for months while I was planning to leave him. He'd been working late to pay for our dream vacation while I was dreaming of someone else. That night, I called Marcus and told him I couldn't go. He was disappointed, but said he understood. He took the job in Italy, and I never heard from him again. Jake and I went to Tuscany for our anniversary. We ate at little cafes, walked through vineyards, and talked more than we had in years. On our last night, sitting on a terrace overlooking the rolling hills, Jake said, "Thank you for choosing us." I never told him about Marcus, but that trip reminded me why I fell in love with Jake in the first place. Sometimes the life you already have is the one worth fighting for. We're still together 15 years later, and sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd chosen differently. But then Jake brings me coffee in bed every morning, and I know I made the right choice.